Speaking of tech, Elon Musk just announced that he plans to build his own utopia in Austin, Texas. Just gets a laugh on the premise. With affordable housing for his employees. I mean, he is a visionary. He does. I mean, we didn't see electric cars or landable rockets or, living on Mars. I mean, this guy thinks big. What are your thoughts? By the way, if I was going to build utopia, all respect to Austin, I wouldn't put it there. I mean, that's just me. And I like Austin. I like Austin a lot.
Sure.
I keep it weird every time I go.
All Elon Musk's utopia, right? Picture this. The stage lights are blinding, the crowd's buzzing, and it's another no-holds-barred night on Real Time with Bill Maher. And tonight? Oh, it's a wild one. Elon Musk, yes, that Elon Musk, just dropped his latest bombshell. He wants to build a utopia for his employees down in Austin, Texas. We're talking affordable housing, innovation hubs, and the full-on futuristic fantasy package. Basically, Elon's pitching Silicon Valley 2.0, but this time, supposedly affordable. But hold up, because Bill Maher and his panel of heavyweight thinkers aren't just clapping along tonight. They're tearing this dream apart live on stage. Is Musk truly a visionary paving the way to humanity's future? Or is this just another billionaire fever dream spiraling into ego-fueled chaos? This episode dives deep, like 2 a.m. philosophy class deep, into the brutal reality of trying to build a perfect society in a world that's anything but perfect. So buckle up, because between the sarcasm, the truth bombs, and the hard reality checks, it's one of those nights where ambition meets reality, and reality hits back hard.
That he's thought hard enough about how a utopia would actually work beyond the kind of Disney World beautiful picture that it would be in the beginning. I don't trust him to do this. I think I'd rather see a bunch of people put their heads together. But it's an
There's no such thing as utopia. How about that?
Well, there's that
don't ever use the word utopia or think you can create a utopia under it. What a fool's errand that
Everybody would be
Talk
happy
about an
there.
over-promising con man. I'm going to build a...
Yeah. Also, utopia is a personal concept, and my personal concept isn't the same as Elon's, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And so, my first thought was like, well, I definitely will not be living there.
All right, so Elon Musk is at it again, and this time he's not launching rockets or selling flamethrowers. Nope. He's trying to build an actual utopian town for his employees in Austin, Texas. Picture it: affordable housing, cutting-edge infrastructure, innovation on every corner. Sounds futuristic, right? Maybe even a little inspiring. Well, not so fast, because over on Real Time with Bill Maher, the panel is tearing into this idea like it's an overcooked steak. They're asking the tough questions Musk probably left out of the sales pitch. Can you really build a perfect society without crashing headfirst into some very real-world problems? Here's the catch. Utopias aren't one-size-fits-all. They're shaped by whoever's in charge. What one person calls paradise might feel more like a billionaire's pet project to the people actually living there. And yeah, issues like governance, diversity, sustainability, and all that messy human stuff? Huge red flags already. Musk's dream town might look shiny on Silicon Valley Bank letterhead, but making it work in the real world, that's a whole different mission to Mars.
If any, can we expect the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank? Oh, yes, to have on our financial system. If you didn't see, I saw this has just happened in a Silicon Valley Bank, one of the biggest banks in Silicon Valley, obviously they're tech, right? That's what they finance. I think the biggest bank failure since the 2008 crash. I guess we should have seen it coming because there's been a lot of layoffs and Bitcoin. Is this what this bank is, Bitcoin?
So the Silicon Valley Bank is this 40-year-old bank from the Valley. It was designed and funded originally to make sure that startups, which have a tough time getting money, could get some money. If this were called the Lehigh Valley Bank, we would not really be paying that much attention to it. It's the Silicon Valley Bank part that's sexy, but the truth is it's a small bank. So it's got about 150 billion in capital. JP Morgan has 3 trillion. The only reason to be concerned about it is the knock-on effects of confidence, but it's a small bank that got caught short. It's the oldest story in the world.
But are we bailing out Bitcoin losers?
No, it's not.
Okay.
This is not about Bitcoin.
All right.
This is about a shortfall where they misaligned their bond spending with the amount coming in They lost depositor confidence. It happened overnight. It's possible this gets contained.
Is it absolutely central to the startup industry, or is it just a bank that some startups?
It used to be 40 years ago. It is
But
no.
now,
Silicon Valley Bank. Yeah, the same bank that basically babysat half of the tech startup world just collapsed. And while it's not exactly another 2008-style meltdown, it is a massive wake-up call about how fragile today's financial system really is. Here's the short version. SVB was living large, stacking up long-term bonds like they were Pokemon cards. But when interest rates shot up, boom, those bonds tanked in value. So when startups started yanking their cash all at once, SVB straight up didn't have the money to cover it. Classic bank panic, chaos. The only thing missing was someone screaming, "Sell everything." But it gets worse. SVB wasn't just any old bank. They were laser-focused on startups and tech companies, industries that are already roller coasters, even when the economy's chill. So when the vibe shifted from "we're innovating" to "we're bleeding cash," that hyper-concentration of risk turned into a giant, flashing "we're screwed" sign bottom line. SVB's fall wasn't just about bad financial choices. It's a brutal reminder that even the so-called smart money can get caught sleeping at the wheel. And for mid-sized banks trying to juggle innovation and stability, it's basically a masterclass in what not to do.
that everybody's supposed to go to college. Everybody is supposed to get a good, solid high school education. That's another rant. But then you're supposed to go out and ply a trade unless you want to do the rather rarefied thing of go to college. That's one way that the old days were better than now. It's mission creep that everybody goes to college. And it's not true that if you don't go to college, you are going to be selling pencils on the street. There are many perfectly legitimate careers. We just need to learn how to talk about it more.
Right.
The other thing that
Could not agree more.
there's another phenomenon that I think is fascinating, which is kids are learning how to do stuff professionally from YouTube.
That's a good point.
And so if you are a coder, more often than not, you're watching a 90-minute video on how to use CSS, and it's moving at your own pace, frequently much faster than the education system can possibly get you there.
Go to school.
One example from this weekend, the Daniels, the guys who directed Everything Everywhere All at Once, they went to film school, and they are the ones who say, don't ever go to film school. Watch YouTube, and learn it, and
Well, that's for sure. That's for sure true about the arts.
about the arts, for sure.
You don't need school for the arts. In fact, they
MFA.
probably make it work.
Yeah,
Right. I mean, either you have it or you don't. I mean, it's just not something you can learn in
Just a guy
school.
with a PhD and a guy with an MA.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but still.
yeah.
Don't be like us.
Don't be like
Well,
us.
okay, so you can learn that on YouTube. But what about, you mentioned Shakespeare. Now, were you, let me read into that. Were you saying Shakespeare is past his prime?
I was being hyperbolic, but
Do you still like Shakespeare?
I think Shakespeare is a swell guy, but you should learn. You should learn about him in high school. All
Right.
of that should be packed in. Much more should be packed into the high school education. Maybe even have a 13th grade. Then, if you're going to go into finance, go work in a bank. You can work in a bank when you're 19. That's the
Right.
way I would like it to be. Shakespeare's great, but the 4 years where your mind is being expanded, expand your mind when you're a teenager, then go get a job. There's nothing abnormal about it.
They're expanding their minds when they're...
All right, let's get real. College enrollment in America is tanking, and honestly, it's not hard to see why. For decades, college was sold to us like a golden ticket. Get a degree, land a career, live the dream. But now people are finally asking the obvious question, is it really worth it? Think about it. The price tag is insane. You're signing up for 4 years and tens of thousands in debt. And for what? A piece of paper that doesn't even guarantee a job. Meanwhile, real-world skills, coding, marketing, trades, you can pick them up faster, cheaper, and without selling your soul to student loan debt. And don't even get me started on how bloated the whole system's become. You're living in a dorm, taking random classes you'll never use, while paying interest on loans you barely understood when you signed up. It's like higher education forgot its original mission, training people for careers, and turned into this weird, overpriced coming-of-age ritual that doesn't even make sense for everyone's goals. College isn't dead, but the old mindset that everyone needs a 4-year degree? That's crumbling fast. And honestly, it's about time. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If you dug this video and want more real talk about the world we live in, smash that like button, share it with your crew, and don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a drop. We seriously appreciate your time. You're the reason we do this. We'll catch you in the next one.